everyone, and welcome to a special live stream. Today, I have my friend Alok, who is going to be offering a mini workshop on animal flow yoga, where we're going to explore how reconnecting with your primal movement patterns can build strength, mobility, and presence in your body. So normally we do these live streams in my Thrive Beyond Pain Facebook group, but today we're doing it right here on my Facebook page. So I'm really excited to dive into this today. Thanks for joining me, Alok.
Thanks, Jenna. So happy to be here and share this practice that I've been doing for over 5 years. And it was actually during the pandemic that I picked it up because I was looking for a way to stay fit. And there were, all the gyms were closed, and this practice has been a daily thing for me now since then. And yeah, I just really feel that strength, the functional movement, and the core that I've been really needing, that's kind of missing from some of my other yogic practices, that I love about this. So we'll just do some very basic moves today. And if you want more, we can always reach out later. Yeah.
Awesome. I am Jenna, and I work with chronic pain and injuries, and I help people get back to doing the things that they love to do. And I love hosting folks like Alok that are just masters in what they do. How long have you been teaching movement now? For like 30 years, something like that?
Yeah, it's about 30 years I've been doing yoga for sure. And this style, yeah, about 6 years as a certified teacher. But yeah, I feel like I grew up in the woods climbing trees, so I've always been into the primal movement myself.
That sounds great. And just to add that these are the natural patterns that we're born with. So things like crawling, squatting, reaching, climbing, twisting, they're movements that used to be second nature when we were kids or when humans were more connected to nature. So running, jumping, sprinting, climbing, crouching, these are all things in modern life that we just don't do enough because we spend so much time sitting, driving, looking at screens. So we lose touch with those foundational movement patterns. And that's why these types of quadrupedal movement patterns, where we're on our hands and feet and connected to the ground, can feel so challenging. So I just wanted to kind of introduce this workshop with that in mind, because I know for me, when I first tried this, I was like, wow, this is a lot of weight on the wrists. I'm not used to this. And so I think you can probably attest to this, Alok, that the more you practice this, the more you do it, the stronger your wrists are going to get, the more mobile your hips and your core and everything's going to start to get stronger, so that you can do these movements. But because we're not used to it, it's just, not going to maybe be easy at first, but that's why this is going to be a fun challenge today.
Yeah, I find it so um, strengthening in different ways, like my hips, like you were saying, and definitely the wrists and ankles, super strong by doing this practice every day. And it doesn't take long, like 20 minutes is really all I need, and I'll get a good cardio workout even. And yeah, it's just a fun practice. Just a little history on it. It was started by Mike Fitch, who in Boulder, Colorado. He created an app, so you can find the app Animal Flow, and from that app it went worldwide. So it's pretty big actually outside the US, and it's a beautiful community of people where they host Animal Flow meetups all over the world. So fun to find that. It's like another language, just like a vinyasa yoga or something. You learn a whole way of flowing with it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to dive in. So what do folks need for this? A yoga mat or any props they need?
Yeah, just a yoga mat. I actually like the cork mats, or something that's not as sticky, or you could even do it on a wood floor. Most of the animal flow practices are just no props at all, just on a wood floor or even outside in the grass. And that's what I love about it.
I'm
You can do
excited to
it
dive
anywhere.
in. Great. Well, let's go ahead and get started. And if you are joining us right now on this live stream, feel free to comment below where you're joining us from and how this is feeling for you.
Yeah, honored to be here. So Yeah, what we'll do is you can stand up. I'm not going to stand up because I am going to be out of the picture if I stand up. So we'll do some wrist mobilizations. This one's called magnetic wrist. So just to keep the wrists together like you have magnetic bracelets and just rolling out the wrists. So we always start with our wrist warm-ups because the wrists are, for most people, the most delicate. So we go both directions here and just finding ways to strengthen the wrists, so really pressing the backs of the hands together as you do this and feeling that the mobility is increasing as well as the strength. And then just interlace, press the palms forward and then up. And then reaching out to the side by flexing the palms. So reaching wide, like you're pressing two walls apart. And this is great if you've been typing on the computer or driving. And then slowly rotate the fingers backwards and then even down toward the floor if you can. The whole time really spreading the fingers, spreading the palm. Then we'll slowly rotate back up, keeping that flexion in the wrist joint. And then we'll grab the thumb, make a fist, and do this little rotations with the fist. Again, here you can feel the forearm muscles starting to work here. Nice, and then just shake it all out. Nice, so that's just the basic. I do that every morning to get the wrists mobile. Then we'll come onto our hands and knees. So if you're on a mat, you can come onto your mat and just finding little circles here to warm up the shoulders, hips, wrist joint, going in both directions, nice big circles. And then one more wrist mobilization, just turning the fingers toward each other so the backs of the hands are down. If it's too much weight, you can always slide back and sit back. And then we'll just go from side to side here. And then you can even try to curl your fingers and really feel that stretch in the top of the wrists. We'll spend most of our time in the flexion, the other position. So this is good to just strengthen again and work the top of the wrists. Then we'll shake it out. Nice. So we'll start with our most basic animal pose, the ape. So squat pose, right? The feet are wider than the shoulders, and some of you might be up here with your elbows on your knees. If you can't get lower, then that's a good indication that this is a pose that can be helpful for you. It really opens up the low back, the groin, all these muscles. All our ancestors used to sit like this around the fire. So this is a great pose for all the mobility, right? So if you're up here, you'll just have to follow me and see how this works. It's a little harder, of course, if you're up. So backs of the wrists together, thumbs down, tuck the chin, and then contract the whole front line of the body. Then as you inhale, open the arms, lift the heels, and bring the palms up. Really wide arms here, spread your wings. Nice exhale. We call this ape reach, the backs of the hands, tuck the chin. You're contracting the front line. And then as you inhale, open, we're contracting the whole back line of the body, pushing the chin back, widening the arms. One more time like that. Exhale, tuck the chin, contract the abdomen, and then inhale, open. Feel that length between the fingers. Beautiful. Come back. And then from here, we'll try a little mobility. So just going side to side. Our hands, when we touch the floor, are always about shoulders distance apart. I'll place my hands and I'll just hop to one side. We can just go side by side like this. Obviously, you're getting a little core work here, starting to get some movement and flow in the body, and maybe bringing a little more playfulness into our practice. So this side to side is always fun. And then we'll just come back to center, find a little forward fold just to stretch out the legs, shake up the head and neck. So always finding that deep breath helps. And in between these poses, I'm inserting a little of my own yoga practice. So from here, just bring the right hand to the outside of your left ankle or knee, bend that right knee and just lift that left arm up, find a little twist. Nice deep breath. And then switch. Left hand outside right leg as you bend the left knee, twist. Nice. Come back to center. Bend the knees, shake it out. A little bounce. So we'll come into the second. So we call this the ABCs. The A is the ape. The B is the beast. So we'll come into our hands and knees. Bring the knees a little bit closer so they're right under your belly button. Spread the fingers and then press into the toes that are tucked and see if the knees can float off the floor. So this is our beast pose, just finding that core strength here. We'll activate our beast by just lifting one limb at a time. So we'll start just the right toes, then the left toes. Try to keep the knees low. Maybe the right hand can lift just an inch, then the left hand. Nice, and then keep the toes tucked and sit back. Stretch the bottom of the feet. So feel that activation, right? That was just maybe 30 seconds of holding that. That beast pose can really invigorate the core, and then we'll work with some contralateral movement here. So coming back into that, again, let's stretch the wrists first. Just so anytime in between, you can just press the backs of the wrists. So if your wrists aren't used to this, it's really helpful to just restore the wrists between, shake them out. Come back into that beast. So float the knees just an inch off the floor, and then we'll take a step forward and step back. So let's lift the right hand, left foot, and then just take a little step, and then left hand, right foot, take a step. So 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, and really find if you can land the foot and hand at the same time. It's definitely harder than it looks, so just play with that. Enjoy the playfulness of trying to move your limbs, opposite limbs together. And, you know, when we walk, we do this, but it's so interesting how we forget as adults how to crawl, this opposite hand and foot. So just a couple more, back and forth, going nice and slow, and then release. Again, with the toes tucked if you can. This stretches the feet, shake out the wrists. Nice work. Yeah, feel that breathing just from that little exercise. So that's B. Our last of the ABCs is crab. So we all probably remember this as a kid as well. So we sit down, feet parallel in front, hands come behind, fingers facing back. Move the butt right in the middle between the hands and feet, and then roll the shoulders back, and then just retracting the shoulder blades down into your back pockets, the butt comes off the floor. So I'm not lifting my pelvis at all, just keep it surrendered, feel that little shake here. Rolling the shoulders back and pushing the shoulders away from your ears, and then push the chin back. These are strengthening all the good muscles for strong posture. So just holding this, sometimes I'll be sitting and I just hold this pose, and it feels so good to strengthen the back muscles that engage the good postural muscles. So as you feel this, feel that lift in the heart. And again, we'll activate here. We'll try the right foot and maybe the left hand. See if you can lift both opposite hand and foot, and then try the other side, left foot, right hand, perhaps a little lift. Nice, and then we'll relax, sit down, backs of the palms together, shake it out. So again, noticing the breath, try to breathe deep in between these. So now we'll work with a little mobility in our crab. So we'll walk the crab. So if you're with me, just finding that crab again, shoulders back, and then push the shoulders away from the ears. Find that lift in the heart, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then the chin goes back, gazing at the horizon. Feel that opening in the front line of the body as we strengthen the back. Nice, we'll go forward first. So lift the right foot, left hand, take a little step forward, then opposite hand and foot. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. And just feeling, again, the challenge of moving opposite limbs and trying to land together, right? So fun. The whole time, Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears, the chest proud. Again, it's a lot harder than it looks, huh? Nice. All right. And come back, shake it out.
So, look, if someone's like really feeling challenged by being in that position with their wrists, is there any kind of modification they can do, or would you just suggest doing it for however long they can and then kind of shaking the wrists out?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, we have a lot of adaptations for people. So fists are great. So you can be on your fists like this. Sometimes people even, it feels a little better to be on your fingertips. That's obviously harder, but it'll really strengthen your hands. But I'd say those are the two modifications. And then, just not overdoing it if this is your first time with it and your wrists are feeling sensitive. Honor if you're feeling pain to take a break, right? I always like to just grab the wrist and shake it like this. That helps kind of massage the joint. But yeah, that is one of the limitations with this practice. We're on our hands and feet a lot. So, fists are a good option. But honestly, like my partner who had wrist issues before has been doing this practice, and since then she's had no wrist issues. So it just takes a while to condition. Like anything, new exercises, you might have to take it slow as you go. So good question.
Right.
Yeah, let's see. So those are the ABCs. We got the ape, the beast, and the crab. And so a lot of animal flow is just learning to flow in between these poses with under switches and transitions. So I'll show you the most basic one, which it does get, the brain gets a little confused here with how this works. So I'll demonstrate it first, and then you can try it. So again, find that nice proud chest. And with our crab, it's a little narrower than most people. You're not out here, right? You're actually pretty close, so that my wrists are under my shoulders here, and then my butt is just relaxed. So I'll show you a right leg under switch to beast. So we're going to go from crab to beast. So I'm going to lift my right foot, left hand, and I'm just going to slide this leg under and come into my beast. Again, finding that little float of the knees are just hovering off the floor. We'll go back. So left hand, right foot lifts, go under, back to crab. So I'll show you the other side so you can see it. One thing is to pivot on this foot. So see, I'm lifting the left foot, right hand. To pivot, I need to push on the gas. So see how I lift that right heel, strengthening the calf. And then that foot is easier to pivot into beast. Again, back to crab, left leg under switch, back to crab. So we'll try that together. If you're on a sticky mat, that might be a good time to take the mat away. This is a cork mat, like I said, so it's not as sticky, which I like for animal flow. But if you're on a sticky mat, I would probably just use the wood floor or carpet, whatever you're on. So let's try that together, and we'll flow through it. So crab, shoulders back, away from the ears. Find that proud chest, chin back. Again, you can just hold this, and it's such a great pose. So for the under switch, let's lift the right foot, left hand, push on the gas with the left heel lift, and then let that right leg go under the body, and you come into your beast. Nice. Feel that core strength here in your beast. Then we'll go back. So to go back, the right foot, left hand lifts, and the right leg goes under the body again, back to crab. Nice. Shoulders back, proud chest. Left leg under switch. So left foot, right hand lift, push on the gas, go under the body to find your beast. Beautiful. From here, going back, left leg under switch, back to crab. Whew. Yeah, shake it out.
Wow, that is so fun. So just a question there. When you go into beast, your knees are still hovering, right? You don't ever
Yeah.
let the only thing touching is your feet and your hands, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, when you're learning, you can always lower the knees if it's a lot for you. And, we have ways to adapt this. So if you really want to make it easier, you can just have the butt on the floor here and then, lift for that transition and then put the knees down so that, if you're learning and it's just too much, you can always make it easier. So that's a good question. You can just find this and see how I'm make it a lot easier by just sitting down in between, lifting just enough for the transition, and then I can put my knees down. So I'll just show you what that looks like if you do it a little faster, and we can continue with the under switches. It makes it really fun, and you can have a lot of fun with it, just going back and forth and finding that under switch. So it looks yeah, it looks a lot of fun, and once you get it, it's like, oh wow, this is just pivoting, and there's not a lot of action. The arms stay straight the whole time, and you're really working that core and the shoulder joint, you can see.
Yeah, it's so much
Cool.
fun. It's so different than doing some crunches on your back. It's functional movement, this quadrupedal movement that is just so innate within our bodies and yet so challenging for us.
Yeah, I love it. Maybe I'll introduce just one more. Does that sound good?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So just rolling out the wrists, shake that out. So, and this is probably similar to a yoga pose some of you have tried. So we'll actually start from a downward dog. So just finding a downward dog, shake it out, pedal the heels. And then what we do is we bend the knees and bring the hips back toward the heels. So some of you might just be here. Eventually, you can get the hips all the way back. So we call this loaded beast. So like our beast, but just bringing the hips back, right? And so what we want to do is this scorpion reach. So one of our legs is going to be like a scorpion stinger. So you chuck the chin, then bring the right knee to the left wrist, and then sweep that leg up and around. So this is a big scorpion stinger. Both arms are straight. You're tucking the chin, and you're pushing the heart back toward that standing knee. The standing leg is bent, and the heel is high as you reach and open that hip. We just swoop it back, knee toward opposite wrist, loaded beast. So that's one that we can try. It really has strengthened my glutes. I'm a runner, and I felt like I was pretty strong before I started this practice, but wow, my glutes were sore almost every time I practiced this. So it's such a good exercise to try, and it's very similar to some of the yoga pose you might do. So let's try that together. If you haven't yet, try it with me. Try the downward dog, and then just bend your knees back, hips toward the heels. Nice. Let's try the left knee toward right wrist. Just touch it in. And then big scorpion sweep. So you can point those toes. The right heel is high, the right knee is soft. Straighten the arms, tuck the chin, and push the heart back towards your standing leg. One more deep breath here. Open that hip. And then left knee toward right wrist. Back to loaded beast. The other side, right knee to left wrist. Open the hip, reach, reach, reach. Find that strong standing leg with a soft knee, lifting that left heel, strong arms, tuck the chin, and then sweep it back. Nice. And then just come into child's pose, take some breaths here. Ah, nice work, you guys. So there's so much to learn with this practice. This is just the basic preview of what's possible. And I'll say that it never gets old. They have weekly flows that they post in the app, and I love that there's always new combinations of ways to flow these poses together. These were all level 1 poses. It goes up to level 3 and can get pretty athletic. So what I love about it is it's functional movement mixed with some cardio, mixed with a lot of fun. And as someone who likes a variety in their practice, I never get bored with it. So yeah,
That's so
thanks for
cool. I
joining.
love it. It's so much fun. It just really makes moving your body and all these various ways just, yeah, challenging and fun and childlike. So thanks so much for introducing us to this today, Alok. And where can people find you? What are your other you have any workshops coming up or retreats you want to mention?
Yeah, so my partner and I teach retreats together, and we'll be down in Mexico in January. We'll be sharing some of these primal yoga practices, breath work, singing, kirtan, beach vibes. So really beautiful, blissful time to start the new year, January 11th through 16th. Yeah, so contactyoga.org is our website together. And then my Rockwater Healing Arts is my business page. And so you can find me on Facebook under Rockwater Healing Arts. And I share a lot of these kind of movements in YouTube as well.
Wonderful. We also do these live streams every week in my Facebook group, Thrive Beyond Pain. So if you want to watch more live streams like this on therapeutic movement, holistic pain relief methods, you can check out that link below. Well, thanks so much for sharing with
Uh,
us today, Alok.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you. And yeah, hope if anyone has any questions, just feel free to reach out.
Okay, so we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks so much for joining us today.
So much love.